Hello friends, welcome to this new session. In the previous session, as you remember, we discussed about how there are forces in the community, in the society, which are operating on us. There are negative forces, which are forces of disintegration. There are positive forces, which are forces of integration. And we need to not only be able to identify them, but also be able to resist the negative impact of the forces of disintegration and use the positive impact of the forces of integration. This is essential for us to develop our moral capabilities. We also ended the last session with a note about the community. That's what we are going to discuss further in this session. So, what is community? When we talk about community, different images come to our mind. For example, village, which has been the most widespread communities across the world for thousands of years. And even today, most of the people of the world live in villages. However, unfortunately, because of what is known as modernization, many people are leaving villages and rural areas and they migrate to cities and towns. So now it's very difficult to refer to the villages of the world as communities. Sadly, most of the villages represent disappearing a community. As you know, urban life is growing fast, and in small towns and satellite neighborhoods of larger cities, they are trying to function like communities. Nevertheless, when you look at the extent of crime and violence in these neighborhoods, and also the cold relationship among the inhabitants of these places, who even do not know who is their neighbor, for example, you feel so uneasy to see that we are really losing the community life that is absolutely essential for our development and for cohesion of society, and without which individuals become victims of destructive social forces. As you know, the modern life makes it possible for you to become members of different communities, which are not geographical units. That is another way to look at the community. For example, you become members of, say, religious communities, associations, clubs, and professional groups, which give you the opportunity to belong to a community. So it is common to classify communities into the following categories. You have, suppose, there is communities of place, as we said, villages or neighborhoods. There is also communities of interests. Suppose the physics teachers, for example, or the social work students, for example, or those who are interested in pop music, or so on and so forth. The writers, dancers, whatever. Then there is identity-based communities, which could be because of their ethnicity or because of other identity, linguistic or whatever. There are also communities of need, and there are communities of practice. So these are really different ways in which communities can be categorized. And this may increase in future. Nevertheless, such non-geographical communities, they do not replace geographical units of a small size like the village, in which people can live together and they can carry out the activities of their social life as a community. For many years, people have assumed that living in large cities will be the way of life in future. However, in the recent years, there are people who have started to doubt this belief, and they believe that city living is very temporary. In future, people will not live in the cities. They say that it's very much like the old forts that people built in Europe in the past to live safe and secure, few centuries ago. And now if you go to Europe, you see all these forts there. But these forts no more, they serve their original purpose and are now no more than tourist sites to visit. The development of communication technology makes it possible now for people to live in the villages and conduct their daily activities maybe in the city. However, this will happen when positive changes are brought about in the village life and the village institutions and village infrastructures and facilities. And when the villages become free from poverty and isolation. Now, we don't know what the future will bring about. That is besides the point here, really. But our desire to become morally capable requires us to serve local communities, to practice capabilities and work for building and consolidating their life. Now, we are going to have a very interesting activity about describing your ideal village. The description is there in the study material. You will go through it, but you're going to describe in as much details as possible the ideal village where you like to live in. So there are a number of questions that you will be discussing. Then on that basis, your discussion with the co-learner, you are going to do an assignment individually. And that assignment is collage making. You can make it, physical using paper and card sheets, or you can also do it digitally. So based on the description that you have given about your ideal village, you create the collage of your ideal village. As you know, collage is an art form which is made of pictures by fixing pieces of papers, cloth, photographs, whatever, on a paper, and you can create a collage digitally also, as I mentioned to you. So this is the assignment, your final assignment of this Unit 3. Best wishes, and looking forward to see your creativity in the collages that you are going to submit. Thank you very much.